All right. Hello. Is this
I heard somebody.
Jamal?
Jamal. We pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, right on the nose.
Jamal. Well, thanks for the call, man. What can we do for you today?
So kind of a crazy question. Like, if you guys were going to build like a badass, what would that look like? Would it be like a John Wick? What skills do you think would make somebody a badass? Or if John Wick's not the guy, somebody from history, who do you think is a badass?
Well,
Billy Wall's a badass.
Billy Wall is the baddest ass I know of. Chuck Yeager was a bad motherfucker. Buzz Aldrin. Now, there's a human male.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, is it the skill set that makes them a badass? Like, and I'm trying to connect this to your two-factor model of training versus practice. So, I mean, is there an aspect of these people were like strong and super like skilled in their respective fields, or is it just like the courage that made them?
Well, it's.
badass
I'll tell you. In my opinion, okay, there are badasses who are born that way, right? There are guys that have just grown up and never been intimidated by anybody or anything due to an appreciation of their own ability. They've never allowed anybody to tell them that they can't do things. All right? Because if you let people tell you you can't do things and you listen to it and you don't try, then you don't know. Okay? But one of the most important things about what we do here is that we don't use RPE. All right? RPE is your perception of how hard something is. And one of the most important things that you can learn under the barbell is that your perception of how hard something is usually bears no resemblance to the reality of the situation. Okay? Now, this is always the case, and this is the case for old, experienced guys like me, and it's certainly the case for young guys without experience. All right? So, in other words, starting strength, in order to assign a level of appreciation to what we do here that's beyond just physical strength. All right, here's the situation. You get under the bar for your set of squat work set. And you've been training about 8 months, and it's getting real heavy. You're up in the high 3s, low 400s, and you're doing 3 sets of 5, say 395s on the bar, right? And 390 last week was heavy. 395 today is heavy. And you do the first set of 5, the 5th rep's hard. You do the second set of 5, 5th rep is hard. Now you take the third set of 5 out of the rack, 395, and you get down to the 4th rep of that thing. And you don't know whether you can do 395 or not. Now, there's 395 pounds on your back, damn near 400 pounds on your back. What are you going to do? Are you going to be afraid of that and not do it? Are you going to be afraid of that and put it up? Or are you going to try? Now, think about this. You have been doing this for 8 months, and every time you have done it in the past, you have been successful in completing the 5th rep of the 3rd work set of squats. But today, it's heavy. But it was heavy at 390. It's been heavy every time you've done it. It's been heavy, and your experience tells you that you can do it. So if your subjective perception enters into this at all, that's not useful information. It's just not useful. In other words, over the 8 months, you have learned to have some balls about you. You've learned that you can do this, and you can do it. All right? So you take the 5th rep of the 3rd set down to the bottom, you rebound out of the bottom, and you squat it. And then you put it up, and now you've learned something. You've learned something again, because you've learned something every time you've done this. This process generates results. The process generates